Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Achieve Your Apex podcast. My name is Chad Hyams. I'm going to be your host and maximizational coach. That's right. You heard me right. Maximizational coach. You see, you don't need a life coach. You have a life. What we need to do is maximize the opportunities that life is providing for us. I'm going to take you on a journey to help you achieve any apex going in your world right now. Whatever it is you are climbing, I'm going to help you get to the top. Now, for those of you who are new to me and you've stumbled upon the Achieve Your Apex podcast, or someone shared it with you and you are being introduced to it, my name's Chad Hyams. Who am I? I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm a father. And I'm a guy who really loves to bring it through tough love, because that's the way Dad raised me. So plan on some tough love during this podcast. That's right. I'm going to be sarcastic with you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to call you out on those things I know you're thinking on the other side of however you're taking this podcast in. Whether you're watching me through video, I hope I look okay. I hope I'm looking in the right place to make sure that we're making some eye contact, right? I hope you're not seeing the reflections of the light in my glasses that drives me nuts on other ones. Yet, of course, you probably are. Someone will figure out a way to fix that for me. Or whether you're in the car and you're just listening, you're on a run and you've got me coming along with you. Run a little faster. However you've got the podcast coming to you, thank you for joining me. And I'm looking forward to bringing you the Achieve Your Apex lessons. Now, what are these lessons going to be? That's right. I'm going to lay out the whole podcast series for you right now. You see, I wrote a book called Achieve Your Apex, and it became a bestseller thanks to so many great people out there who had to get a copy of it right now. I hear about it all the time from people saying, Chad, I love this. Chad, that lesson here. And it was time to say, let's build a podcast where I can take you even deeper into the book. That's right. I'm going to take you into the lessons I share, and I'm going to take you even deeper into them. I'm going to bring you interviews with people that are not going to be long, drawn out interviews. No, they're going to be to the point on how you, listener, achieve your apex. That's what we want to learn. These episodes are going to be 5-10 minutes at the most, unless I just have to finish a thought. I'm going to keep these quick and short just for you, because that's what I would want to listen to as well. So I hope you continue to join me here and that you've already subscribed to the Achieve Your Apex podcast. Now let's go back to how did this all begin, because it didn't start with a book. No, it started when I was younger. And my mom, who's one of my role models, Mom, I don't know if I've ever told you that before. I love you very much. My mom was a teacher. Now, I don't mean someone who just taught you things. I mean, she was a teacher. That's right. Mom actually taught people in school. So Mom brought me up in an environment of teaching, an environment of learning, an environment of making sure I was figuring out what was next and how to solve the problems. Dad was a teacher as well. Not a teacher like Mom in the sense that he was actually certified in teaching. No, but Dad was always teaching. He was teaching lessons every opportunity he got for me. And I learned to find lessons around me to grow from and through. Many of the lessons that I'd share in Achieve Your Apex are lessons that probably originally came to me from my dad, whether he knew he was teaching them to me or not at the time. Now, I also had amazing teachers in my life, whether that was Mrs. McGee in grade 7, who, she kicked my ass into gear. Let me tell you, I almost didn't make it through that grade. Or Miss Gibson in grade 6 and grade 8, who showed another way that compassion could be the way to help a student grow. Maybe it was some of my high school teachers like Mrs. Eidenberg or Mrs. McDonald. Or maybe it was even some of those teachers I had while I was briefly in the world of university, like Fred Turry, who really taught me a lot of lessons. And then after schooling, well, then there became the teachers who weren't maybe certified teachers, yet boy, they taught a lot. People like Gene Rivers, people like Ben Kinney, people like Terry Brinkus, Jenny McKenna. These people who were teaching me lessons all the time as I was growing through opportunities in my world. They all became lessons that I want to share with you. Now, as we continue this journey, this is going to be a weekly podcast for you. So that's it. Just once a week, you get the pleasure of joining me for maybe 10 minutes and learning something. So make sure you're bringing friends along with you. Now, let me start with the philosophy of achieving your apex. You see, there's two things that came to me. Now, if you're watching on video, I just gave you two. Maybe I should say two, or maybe I should have said two. It doesn't matter. I'm putting up way too many fingers right now. Folks, there are two main themes that came together as the book came to shape. You see, for years, I knew I had a book in me, yet I didn't know how to bring it to you. And then one day I was out walking when I lived up in Birch Bay, Washington. And in the background were beautiful Canadian mountains is what I could see. And what flew over at that moment was a gorgeous bald eagle. He showed up almost every day. And at that moment, he sent me a message that there was an apex at the top of every mountain and there was an apex predator at the top of every food chain. And all of a sudden, the lessons came out in a way that made sense, whether we're learning how to climb a mountain or we're learning the lessons from the shark, from the bald eagle, from the lion, all these apex creatures. I'm going to share them with you. In the book, I already did. And on this podcast, we're going to really get into some fun. I want to start today and bring you the 5 A's of achieving your apex. So if you take notes during podcast, quick, get a pen. Quick, open that app, whatever it is you use. The 5 A's, and they go like this. You've got to aim. You've got to arrange. You've got to have attempted. You've got to have accountability, and you've got to amend. That's right. Let's do those again. It's aim, arrange, attempt, accountability, and amend. Now, what do I mean by those? Okay. Aim. If you don't have a goal that you're aiming at, there's no apex to achieve because you don't know where the top of the mountain that you're truly climbing is. So we always have to start with a goal. Oh, don't worry. There'll be chapters on that. Then we have to arrange because we have to create a plan. We can't just haphazardly run around in circles thinking we're going to make that goal happen. No, we have to set a course to follow and we have to arrange the path we're going to go on. Okay, then we have to attempt because if we don't make an attempt, nothing will ever happen. That's right. Nothing will ever happen if we don't attempt. You can't sit on the sofa and think your goals are going to be achieved. You can't sit on that sofa and think you're going to achieve some sort of apex. You got to climb. You've got to battle the other creatures to become the apex in the food chain. Whatever it is, you have to attempt doing it. Then we need accountability because you've heard the quote so many times, no one succeeds alone. That's right. Whether it's going to be me being your accountability here through the podcast, whether you've got a maximizational coach in your world, whether you decide, hey, I need that guy to be my maximizational coach and you find me, whether it's you've got people, it can't be your spouse. It just can't be your spouse if you want the marriage to work. And then the 5th A, amend, because something needs to be changed. If you haven't already achieved it, we have to amend and make changes. Maybe we fell off that accountability. Maybe we found out that the plan that we arranged wasn't the best one to get us to where we were going. Aim, arrange, attempt, accountability, and then amend. These are the 5 A's that are going to get you to the apex of any mountain you're climbing. All right, folks, that's it. Welcome to the Achieve Your Apex podcast. We've got so much more. I'm so excited about what is ahead. I hope you've already clicked subscribe. I hope you'll click share and send this off to somebody immediately. I hope you will help me get this podcast into the hands of as many people as possible so that they can learn the lessons that you might already know and that they need to learn or learn alongside you. Whatever it is, I hope you'll join me next week. And until then, keep climbing.